All right, today we're putting on our detective hats and going undercover inside the human body. Our mission? To solve a chemical mystery that can happen right under our noses, a critical breakdown in our body's internal balance. So, what is this balancing act I'm talking about? Well, it has nothing to do with walking a tightrope. This is way more important. We're talking about the perfect chemical harmony inside your blood, something your body maintains every single second without you ever thinking about it. The easiest way to picture this is to think of a scale. On one side, you've got acids. They're just a normal byproduct of your body doing its thing, making energy. And on the other side, you've got alkaline substances, or bases, whose job it is to neutralize those acids. Your body is just working around the clock to keep that scale perfectly level. Now, the way we measure this balance is with something called pH. And for, everything to work right, your cells, your organs, all of it, that pH has to stay in a really, really narrow, slightly alkaline range. If it strays even a little bit, you're looking at serious trouble. The magic number, the absolute sweet spot for our blood's pH is right around 7.4. But if that number just dips a tiny bit, say below 7.35, it's a warning sign. It means the acid side of our scale is getting way too heavy and the blood is becoming acidic. So, how does the body fight back? What's its main line of defense? Well, it's this amazing compound called bicarbonate. This is the main weight on the alkaline side of our scale. You can think of it like the body's own personal army of little acid-soaking sponges, just floating around, ready to mop up any excess acid and keep that pH right where it needs to be. But what happens when that system gets overwhelmed? What if the body starts making way too much acid? Or worse, what if we start losing those precious bicarbonate sponges? Well, that's when the scale starts to tip. And that dangerous tilt has a name: metabolic acidosis. At its very core, it's all about a drop in that crucial bicarbonate. Our acid-soaking sponges are either overwhelmed or they're disappearing. And as a result, the blood's pH starts to fall right into the danger zone. When acidosis starts to get pretty bad, the body definitely sends out distress signals. Things like nausea, feeling super tired, just unwell. But the most telltale clue, the thing that really tips doctors off that something is seriously wrong, isn't a feeling at all. It's actually hidden in the way a person breathes. And here it is. This describes a really unique breathing pattern. These aren't short, panicked gasps for air. They're long, deep, rhythmic breaths. It's actually the body's incredible automatic defense mechanism kicking into high gear. It's literally trying to blow off the extra acid as carbon dioxide with every single exhale. Okay, so the body is in this acidic state. The breathing is a huge hint. So how do doctors actually figure out what's causing it? Well, the whole investigation starts by looking for one master clue in the patient's blood work. And that clue is found with a pretty simple calculation from a blood test. It's called the anion gap, and honestly, it is the key that unlocks this entire mystery. Don't worry, we're not going to get bogged down in the heavy biochemistry here. All you need to know is that the anion gap is basically a sorting tool. It's like a fork in the road for the doctor, and it immediately tells them which of two completely different types of problems they're dealing with. And here are those two paths. It's really this simple. If there's a high anion gap, it means the body is adding new acid to the system, like lactic acid from shock or ketones from uncontrolled diabetes. But if there's a normal anion gap, it means the problem is a loss of that base. The body is losing its bicarbonate, usually from the gut or the kidneys. See? Addition versus subtraction. So now that our detective work has split the case wide open, we can follow each of these paths to find the actual culprits behind this whole mess. Think of this table as our suspect board, all neatly organized by that one anion gap clue. You can really see how that single test takes doctors from a vague problem, acidosis, to a much more specific list of possible causes. It narrows things down dramatically. Let's take an example from the high anion gap path. A really big one is lactic acidosis. This often happens when a person is in shock because their cells aren't getting enough oxygen. So the cells switch to a backup energy plan that unfortunately produces a flood of lactic acid as a waste product. Now let's look at the other path, The normal anion gap, something as common as a bad case of diarrhea, can be the trigger here. You see, your intestinal fluids are packed with bicarbonate, so if you lose a lot of that fluid, you're literally flushing away the alkaline side of your body's scale, causing it to tip right over into acid. So, the detective work is done. We found the cause. Now for the most important part. How do we fix it? How do we get that internal scale back into perfect balance? And this right here is probably the most important principle of the whole thing. The goal is to treat the root cause. You don't just throw antacids at the problem to fix the pH number. No, you have to fix what's causing the pH to be off in the first place. That means getting diabetes under control, treating the infection that's causing shock, or rehydrating the patient. So the logic is really straightforward. Fix the source. That's step 1, 2, and 3. It's only in the most extreme, life-threatening situations, we're talking a pH below 7.0, that doctors will give bicarbonate directly. And even then, it's used really carefully, more like a temporary bridge to buy time while they get to work on fixing the actual underlying problem. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? This whole process is such a powerful reminder of how our bodies work. Everything is connected in this intricate web of cause and effect. And it really shows that whether we're talking about something as specific as blood chemistry or just our health in general, the best solution is almost never a quick fix for a symptom. It's always about the patient detective work of finding and fixing the original source of the imbalance.